everybody, we've reached the time when I will misevaluate all the cards, call them all awesome, environment-deforming abominations, and then none of them will be played. Spells! My
You never
favorite and
learn.
least favorite.
You
I
never
never do
learn.
learn. Spells are like they're my white whale. I love spells. I love
There's
Shigenja.
a weird thing. One of the thoughts that you made, so we just did, we're doing some attachments as a group, and we do a couple. In between items and photos, I thought was a really sad point. It's like every set, they break them into roughly thirds. There's about 10 of each or 12 of each or whatever. And so there's, how many spells are here are we going to do here? Did you look at like 12, I
Is it
think?
2, 4,
And
6,
there was
8,
like,
10, 12?
yeah. And it was like 12 followers, 12 items. When you think about it, that's really terrible design distribution, right? Like spells
Right. Like there
are
should be 4
like
spells.
it's such a small part of the card pool. It's such a small part of the format and the environment. A lot of every faction has, but almost none of them really. It's really odd that there's always many. And I wonder if the reason we're so bad at evaluating them is because we always think there's less of them than there are. Because there's a lot.
There's a lot. I mean, yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of stinkers. Let's see if we have any in this set. Starting with calling on the
this is
sun.
great. So it starts calling on the sun. Starts with our absolute favorite sentence of any spell,
You
which
may
is of
target your
course
samurai.
target
Like, just
samurai.
like here's some salt. Like, you remember that deck you love and you wanted to play at all these tournaments and you couldn't. Like, well, have some salt on that sandwich.
Oh, this one went perfectly in there too, right?
Oh
Like
my,
you
oh, of
read
course,
your
yeah.
range
Like,
attack,
I
this
bumped my guy
again,
up to like 15
roll
chi. I
the
make it
sound,
range 17.
plus you would do it equal to the Shugenja's chi. You put this on your fire Shugenja, and it would just be like
No,
this to
because
make
you're
a
you're
range.
casting your burning whatever. You're casting your burning spirits on the guy. So his chi goes to like 10, and you've got a fire
Yeah.
Shigenja that has like 20 to 12
All
attack.
right.
Like,
So
all
this is
kinds
great
of
for
great. This would
like
be great for
just
Ray Sensei. Now, Ray Sensei no
that
longer
does.
exists. Is this card great? No.
Well, you can give it home using Kuon's scroll satchel.
And then we all laughed and laughed because Paul forgets that that
Yeah, that
rotated.
was before. Yeah.
You
So,
can give it
uh,
no, but you can give it home using the one you have Jimbo action. Ooh la la.
it's so. How is this as a card? It's a repeatable ranged attack. Probably. What do you think? Range 4, maybe.
All right, here's how this is as a card. Can you name another 3 gold spell that you would play in an aggressive deck?
Yeah, I think I probably can. Are you talking about say Final Ruin?
Right, so how does this stack up against Final? It doesn't. All right, next card. And I'm being flipped because maybe you want
But
both
you would play
effects.
them.
But
Yeah,
like
it's
there's like
not either way. You play them
gold cost
constantly.
spells, you can only play so many of them. And like I've fallen into this
Correct.
trap building decks in the past where it's like, man, calling on the sun's awesome, I'm gonna play that. And like, man, like Dragon's Talents is awesome, I'm gonna play that. And like, man, Final Ruin's awesome, I'm gonna play that. And then like your hand is like 17 gold of shit that you can't play.
Maybe this will let me finally build my Shiba Tsukime tower deck where I'll give Shiba Tsukime experience, the one that you can put spells on, that she's a samurai.
Yeah.
I'll give her her triple burning spirits, and I'll give her 3 of this and 3 final wound, and then I'll give her a new armor that stops her from being moved. And then I'll give her the follower something that gives her conqueror, and it'll be like playing race and say, only my personality will cost 15 gold and have a 10 on a requirement. Okay,
I've always wanted this deck to work because you can play like the honor turns to rate. Nah, that's not the name of the card. The one that's like instead of gaining their honor, draw cards equal to half the amount of honor you would have
yep.
gained rounded up. So you can like pay 2 gold and like you buy her for 17 gold instead and like draw 3 cards. And I've wanted
Why
that to
not?
work so badly. And like, you know,
What?
it's just a
I
crapshoot.
haven't
But here
I
we
haven't
are.
stopped yet, man. I got a lot of time to work on it now.
Got to keep the fire. Got to keep the fire. Let's talk about Compassion's Invocation. It is honor. It is another 3 gold spell. We actually like this spell
It doesn't
because
look
we
hard.
like to not attack their sign, and this is like just bow, reduce their force,
Card
done.
exists. I feel like this card currently like in the format.
No, there's shielded by Tempest is the move home +2. There's one that's like Ward of Air that's like bow the shug. They get like a flat -2, like a flat -3. Like
Sure.
So this card is bad, but it has the upside of like I can put it on my guy and then give my guy a Naginata, and now he's 5, and like I can blank your dude.
Okay.
Because this spell at 2 is unplayable. Like if you bowing, like paying 3 gold, attaching a fate card, and then like taking an action to give a guy -2 force is terrible. But like -5 force is really good. So if you can get this too on like a 5 guy, you know,
So here's where I'm thinking Yeah, so there was a card that did something very similar to this. Was free before, and you referenced the name, but I forget what it was called. 1 second. Here it is. Tempest of Air with the 2 gold one.
Yeah.
Right? That's the exact same card, only it's equal to this again. Okay, so like exact same card is exact same card. Okay, so this is different in that you gain honor from it.
Wait, is Tempest of Air still in? I thought that was like a
No,
flat. Yeah.
that was a Coils of Madness card, but it was Legion Ivy, so
Oh,
it's
that's right.
not.
That's right. But no one played it
Not
then.
no one. We played it a little bit for a couple of minutes,
And then we
right?
cut it for Flash
Okay,
Attack.
so yeah, so here this card isn't bad because it does give you a way to turn your unaligned Shugenja, who you can buy with Honor Sensei, Komori, Teramoku, the Air Shugenja that's straight into the Backland Girl.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you can place her with Honor Sensei, gain a few points, even align it to your faction, and give her the PH bonus. Play that with Compassion, and then you can gain an honor on your turn and an honor on your opponent's turn, independent of reducing. We were reducing force by.
And then we attach to her the other armor that gives all of her actions +1 honor, and then we're getting 2 honor on each turn. And then you're actually kind of cooking with gas. Like, I say it sarcastically, but like that's a real wombo combo.
Yeah, that's 6 gold, but you're gaining 2 honor. So like, I mean, there's a place for this card. Like there it is. Like that's and you say to yourself like, well, Bob, that's a super, but like that's for one card, like an uncommon to earn its place in the set and to define card for me. Right? Like it interacts with a couple of the cards in an interesting way, and now we've got the spell and that item and this non-unique eye, and we're gonna line them up and we're gonna make our sandwich. It's gonna taste good.
It's gonna be a tasty sandwich. You're gonna taste those jalapenos. You're gonna taste that mayo. You're gonna taste that salami, and like it's gonna all come together in your mouth, and you're gonna feel great about buying it.
That's a fine card, and I'm sure you'll see it. I think you'll see it sporadically in a couple of little honor decks that happen to have or air.
It's a math question card. I think it's a math question card. Like if a combo like that ends up being good, this card will see a lot of play. If the combo ends up being bad, we'll see no play.
I don't know if you need to have a combo. I think there might be a couple of sort of Shugenja-based Seeing the Way type Phoenix honor decks that just play it just to like. I put it on my guy. I used it twice. I got 2 honor. I reduced the force to save my provinces a little bit.
You know what though? This card can be hit with the Luke Gregory holding.
Oh, the Temple of whatever.
The Alchemist Laboratory. It says 1 honor, right? So you can like make that really big if you want. Like you can actually gain a lot of honor from this card. Like if you wanted to build a whole deck around like this card. Like the hypothetical cap for like casting this one time is what? So you can mark up all of your labs, and then that's 2, 4, 6, 7, and then you attach a thing. So like you can cast like the hypothetical cap for this card is 8. You can gain 8 honor from casting this.
So now we're talking about playing with Alchemy Labs and playing with unaligned.
Yeah, I mean that's all terrible. I'm just saying like there's
it might be terrible, but look how fun we're brewing with it. So
right,
to me, that's like that's a super cool card. Like we spent a amount of time jumping down this rabbit hole, and I don't think other people are going to follow us down it, but I'm fine with it.
It's whatever. It's cozy down. It's really nice. It's cozy. I like it.
Really
Earth's
nice.
inevitability. You will inevitably play Earth cards because we will keep printing them, and you will have no choice.
What are you looking at? Or I don't have Earth's inevitability. 1 second. I have Eternally Unyielding.
Eternally Unyielding is next. You missed one.
Okay, I missed one. I got it. I'm here. I'm inadequate, damn it. I understand. It's inevitability. It's
that escalated like quickly.
This is the card that I'm surprised it took them 1 million years to print. We've had Servitors of Stone for like 5 years. They finally decided that Earth is the non-send home thing. Maybe we should make a non-send home spell that's like Servitors of Stone.
Hey, we got it.
Thanks for catching up, guys.
A little worse than Servitors. Yeah, no, it's not. It's the same card. You're right. This Shugenja reserves an opposed, give them +1 for each Earth card in this game. It's like Servitors with slight upside. I don't have much to say about this card except
we like Earth's Embrace, right? We like these little goofy force bonus things. This one's obviously not like, that one.
This ain't Earth's Embrace, but Like I like that there's like a slight bit of upside that like if you've decided they're probably not going to hit you with a send home, you can like cash it in for some value as opposed to just like Servitors of Stone, you locked in on like okay, I'm
Right. So
straightening, and if I can't do
one
anything
of
with
the
it, I can't do
problems
anything with
with
it.
spells is they play to the board, and this lets you like I put it out there, I play to the board, and there's always something else that you can mess with.
The problem,
I will
like
say this.
timing this effect is really awkward. I guess like you just leave it to the very, very end, but then like they can try to leave their send home to the very, very end, and like you can kind of get them
That's a
because
weird little mind game. I will say that I think there's an odd. I kind of just wish, and I said this about Servitors a million years ago. I really wish they'd make those things repeatable. I feel like if you're gonna make these free spells that function as action, you should give them a potential to be used twice in the same battle. I just feel like that's fair. I just because if you're only ever going to use this once, you'd be straight better with a raise and disregard kind of stuff,
yeah.
and it always bugs me. I feel like if you're gonna put repeatability on a permanent, like the value of putting it on a permanent is that you get to use it more than once. But oftentimes the critical battle is the critical battle, and you only get to use it once. I just feel like it's just repeatable, but it's a quibble.
There was one card like uh, Tanaka's Legacy or something. It's like you can equip it as an interrupt, and then you blow it up to give like a fear effect or a range attack -2. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like that
Yeah.
style of design on an Earth card would have been really cool here. Like you can equip it as an interrupt, and then it says like, Earth interrupt, no bow. Like if you equipped it this turn, like negate a movement or something, or like equip it as an interrupt and then negate a movement, and then you have that like
And
other ability. So it's like a one-time
so
raise and disregard with upside on the board.
And the issue is how much time you spend designing these sort of free spells. How good do you have to worry that you're going to push them into? It's just good. And so I understand how we ended up with this card. It always leaves me a little sort of cool, and it doesn't seem to work very often, right? Like Servitors of Stone doesn't really see a lot of play because they're generally better off trying to keep your cards to your hand and not put them on the board like that.
It's a big problem with spells. That's easy to miss and that I miss a lot. Let's talk about Eternally Unyielding. More honor cards.
More honor.
More hats.
So I do like they have the raise or lower the province strength. They always do this. They always say like it can go up or it can go down. You can invest wanting to put it up or you can invest wanting to put it down. And I think that's right. But if you're playing a deck that has Earth followers and spells, and you're opposed, I suspect it's going to be good in one of the two types of decks. And I don't think either of those two types are really any good. But what?
I mean, so this is a blitz card, but it's 3 goals, so it's not really like this card has no home.
And you have to be opposed, right? Like
no,
that's only to get the bonus.
To get the +2, yeah. So like
so that's
if like you go through and you see like in the card pool like how many of the spells or followers like can I put in that are Earth that also like generate little dings of force, and the answer is there's none. Like it's all void and fire stuff that's giving you force bumps. So like this can be like a 3 gold +1 force. Like pass.
Yeah, well, I think so. The next question then you have to ask yourself is, are there things that are Earth that like it's like the Luke Gregory stuff? We play this and like, but I don't. Those decks want to win the battle. Those decks don't want to spend cards to increase their product strength. They're not speed bumps. Trying to win by being tough, resistant Earth dudes, right?
I got it. So we make an Earth super unit, okay, by attaching tons of stuff, and then we cast.
I played Armor of the Earth. That was the one that like gave you the bonus.
No, you got it. You're cutting me off. And then we cast Numinous Mantra to cast multiple Eternally Unyieldings to raise our province strength by like 15 each time, and then use like a send home spell.
Numinous Mantra. Okay, I have now come up with a deck that's the complete opposite. Here's mine. First turn, Earth. First turn, 2 Genji. Turn 1 guy.
Okay.
Turn 2, play my entire hand, and it's all free spells, one of which is Miss Mantra, and like a bunch of Earth spells. Courage of the Earth, which is free.
There's a bunch of free Earth spells and Eternally Unyielding.
Stone is Earth. That's free. I don't know how many, but let's just assume there's a million, right?
Yeah.
So like, I attack with my guy. He's 2 force with Eternally Unyielding and a ton of Earth spells. The one that stops the send home. So my anti-send home and my anti-bow Those are free Earth spells.
Yep.
Put internally on yielding, I attack, and I use yielding to lower your province strength by like 6, take your province, and even if your province strength is like 20, I can use Numinous Manta and do it again.
No, because that's not how Numinous Mantra works. Numinous Mantra is unless you cast repeatedly. Are you thinking of Jade Ascension? Like
yeah,
I can cast
it lets me cast repeatedly. Numinous Manta lets me cast the lower province strength again.
No, because you can't target their cards. You can only do it on like the plus
I'm
mode.
not targeting their cards. I'm targeting the province.
Fair enough.
No,
But
it doesn't let me do it. It only lets
you
me
don't need
do it.
new because you're attacking on opposers on turn 2. Like this deck falls apart once they buy personality because all you have in play is like a bunch of
But
anti-strength.
I'm not. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm not 100% sure that's true because I'm going to have a spell that straightens my stuff, a spell that stops you from sending me home. I'm going to have a spell that gives me force so you can't shoot me in the face, and all those spells are free.
Okay.
We're doing.
There's also the spell that says like your guy doesn't blow up in resolution, so even if you like mess up, you don't actually die.
So you have now watched how terrible we are with spells, where we look at these cards and we know they're not very good. We know they're pretty terrible, and yet we've now found ourselves
That's right.
building ridiculous decks around them.
It's my unbirthday. Can I interest you in some tea? Let's talk about Inazuma's Caress.
Like it's a delight. We are who we are, you know. Like we are who we are. No shame.
Don't change. All right, Inazuma's Caress. It is an expendable, resilient attachment. This feels like a wombo nambo. Can we talk about that? Like, it's resilient and expendable. Like, it doesn't blow up, but if it blows up, it gets stuff.
Right, and it only doesn't blow up. Like, it won't blow up, but if the guy it's attached to blows up, then you draw the card. So then it's only good. It's a resilient attachment, but those are only good if on a resilient die, so it gives their water.
But it makes them resilient, so like there you go.
But only if they're water. This is one of those. It's another one of those free cards that they want. It's another worthless free effect that they're like, we got to do something here. So that's what
it's like it's like a look what resilient does. They're pushing it. They're trying really hard, but it's just not quite getting there. Primal Tempest.
And it's Hey, look, so remember how we talked about how, like, free cards just sort of make their effects not really that good?
Hey, here's another one. It cares about Thunder. Like, the last one's a free card that makes the free card that makes a free 3 on water guys. There's a free card that cares about Thunder guys.
I don't have anything to say. There's a fake card you can play that's, like, making free 3 effect, and nobody plays it.
It's an unstoppable one, too. It's just, like, unstoppable free 3. Like, this is unplayable. Next card.
And making it a spell doesn't make it better most of the time. Okay. So, you've seen us reach around our and touch our noses for sort of spell that reduces force and gains honor, for spell that lets you save or take provinces. You can only imagine how crazy things can get when you give us a spell that lets us recruit ponies. It's pretty
repeatable Maho open. So, like, okay, the first thing is that...
Which is completely ridiculous, because whatever. Like, you have to bother Shugenja and blow it up. If ever there was a spell that doesn't need to be repeatable,
like this is it.
Like, a guy
there really is, like, this really can get to Wrath of Kalima levels.
Yeah? You think so?
I mean, I think it can get, I mean, obviously not, because we're not buying, like, Rado no Oni with it. But, like, it's not that tough to, like, okay, I envision, like, I'm playing Phoenix, like, cheap Shugenja deck. I'm playing the, like, 3 gold that straightens herself guy. Give her a ritual of name, like, blow up 2 chumps, get 2 Oni. Like, that's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, this isn't, by no means is this a bad card. It gives you card selectivity, which is a very powerful effect. It's the card you're sort of tutoring. Tutor effects are great if you have powerful things to tutor for. A reason a lot of tutor cards don't work is because they're tutoring for kind of nonsense, right? Tutor for Terrain is a card I love, but very few people play. Accepting the Choice is a card that nobody really plays because it's like, whatever, I can just play regular effects. We have seen Onis have deleterious impacts on games. We saw it with the Wrath of Kalima. We saw it with I Give You My Name and the Spawner Oni, Kino Oni. Like, we've seen that happen to the point that cards are being banned and errated. So certainly I could envision a world where this thing but the difference is this doesn't have any sort of cost reduction. It's just about tempo, and it's a lot to set that up. But you know what? If the line of the universe line up, absolutely I can see this.
But you know what? You know what this card does do that, like, because it can get guys out of the bin. It doesn't care if they're alive or dead. So like
Correct.
one really cool usage with this is like you can play it with.
Well, it has to be that way so that if you can flush the Onis early, right? Like
No,
that's
I
the only way.
understand, but like it gives you this like like if you play Daigatsu Endo, and so like every single turn I
Sure.
blow up Endo, get an Oni, and then buy Endo, and like get an extra fate card.
And you'll have to play the Sensei, so you're going to go second a lot because the honor losses are going to add up really fast. Otherwise, like you buy gigantic Oni, you lose 3 honor from the spell, you lose honor from the Oni. So
Yep, but
there's clearly decks to be built around this card, and we're going to build the crap out of them. I just
absolutely.
don't think those decks are going to end up being really good because they're going to be go second decks, and they're going to only have 3 gold, and they're going to require a lot of little different.
They're gonna have 3 gold, but they're gonna have an awesome gold scheme. I mean, like I agree with you, but like I'll play counterpoint here a little bit. They're gonna have an awesome gold scheme. They're gonna have awesome inevitability of like you can never ever kill my Crimson Mountain. Like every single time you kill him, I just buy him back because I have these guys that I can use to like infinitely launder him back, and they're non-unique, and like I don't care. So like
And reserve can sometimes swing battles in an interesting way, sort of anecdotally. But you're right. If you get to trigger this card 2 or 3 or 5 times in a single turn, like if you just have all the golds in the world, I mean, it could be a huge blowout, right? It could be like what, like, and not even in like these weird combo stalls that we're talking about, but just in a situation where it's like we've traded back and forth, and you have 2 provinces and I have 2 provinces, so I'm buying 1 or 2 guys, and you're buying. Oh, it's like, oh wait, now I use my free gold to blow up 1 bowed guy. As an open during your, like, I take a province, I got a bowed guy, now I'm going to blow up my bowed guy there and recruit 2 more guys. So I recruited 4 guys, and you're going to recruit 1 guy because that's what you flipped in your province. It's like, this can really break those kinds of stalemates wide open, and there's going to be a lot of power there.
yeah, Endo. So you saw me pull up Endo. He's non-human, so I take it all back. This kid's only about human guys.
We'll find a way.
We'll find a way, and like, yeah, just the ability to like take my bad guys. Like, I like the idea of like there's a couple powerful, like really powerful Oni.
Yeah.
You know, like Mamuku, even though
And
he's
there's
not
a
like
ton
super
of
great.
cheap guys.
There's a ton of cheap guys. The idea of like I make an attack or like I make a defense, and there's like a certain amount of attrition that happens. Like you kill my big guys, but then I just like get them back anyway. Like that's where I think there's a lot of value to this card.
What about a lion deck with the Sensei that starts with 2 gold, that plays the card that you shuffle in to make a lion ancestor? Then I blow up my lion ancestor, and that dude shuffled back in, so I'll always have an ancestor.
Let me see if our ancestor's human.
Yeah, lion ancestor's human. He's got 3 PH.
What's
You
her
know what
name?
I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. What's her? Do you remember her name?
Suzuka.
All right, let's see. I can't find her. I can pull it up on my app here. But yeah, I mean, if those are humans, then like that's the deck.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not Kitsu Leiko. I love her a lot.
it's not Lyco, it's the other one. Lyco's fine though. They're all templated exactly the same.
Suzaki. I've got Suzaki.
Suzaki. Let's see.
The spirit is definitely a human.
So yeah, I mean, she makes a human. She
Oh,
doesn't
like,
care
so,
about. She
Make
doesn't
me
ca-
human, blow up humans.
Get Oni.
Yeah,
Like there you go. So you can
you
just
don't
recurse it
have to-
infinitely. It's an open too, so like you can just buy it as an open, like
What
blow
are
it
we
up as
doing
an
with all the
open.
Onis? I don't know. We'll get there next. But
We're
you
just
know,
having
you'll-
like big guys, you know, like this idea of my unkillable legion.
Yeah. So anyway, that's another spell that we're gonna build. So far we've just sort of talked about how some of these decks fit in and like what can they do for you, and we've got the spells and we're all excited. It's a thing that
Come
happens.
on, buddy. So let's talk about other spells that are not as awesome. Void, battle, engage. Give your target personality plus 2 force. If he's void, abilities on the target may be used a second time this turn.
I don't hate this. I just feel like it sits in that zone of like Shugenja 8 follower where it's like, oh, it's 3 force for 3 gold, and like that's not a good enough reason. Ability on target may be used a second time. So if my Shugenja now has an awesome ability that doesn't involve bowing itself,
Yeah.
I don't know. What if what's the single greatest ability we can think of on personality? Terra, okay, it doesn't. Well, does that work? It's gotta be in
No,
the
because it's
battle.
got to be in the battle. It's not. It'd be something like, Yeah, I don't know. It
I
hasn't
mean,
been a
there might
void
be a
guy.
weird. Okay, I'm trying to think of a weird combo that I can do with this. I can Genpuku. Okay, so I can Puku the ninja, the spider ninja that has the ambush effect. I make him Shugenja Genpuku.
Mm-hmm.
I give him a tapestries flowing pattern,
Mm-hmm.
and then that doesn't work.
And he's not void and it doesn't work. Like there's too many restrictions of the card. Like
There's a lot of work to get there. I'm just trying to think of like some awesome thing you could do with it. You could give some cool like dragon like ability a second. It just there's nothing. I mean,
it doesn't do what you want it to do. But
that's the
it's
play all card, by the way. It's a
it's very
spell
cool.
that dragons for. That's pretty much the best you can do.
All right, the wind's clarity. This is like that. This is like one of those honor cards. Like I pitch it to honor, I reattach it, I blow it up. Like I know it's just tell the tale, but it's tell the tale with like upside because you can tell the tale unlimited times, and maybe
I
that has
actually really
value.
like it. So you need to have a library or temple. Hey, let me tell you how hard.
Let me tell you how
not.
that. Yeah, so there's this Temple of Destiny card, and it's slightly playable. Maybe you've heard of it.
And the card you talked about that I think sort of pushes me in the favor of this is the Alchemy Lab. I think that was a really fun breakthrough where it's like Obama, so bow an Alchemy Lab. I mean, you bow it. Okay.
It launders Alchemy Lab into a 2-for-2 Kabuki Theater Trip. And so the question is like, would you play Kabuki Theater Trip at 2 gold? And the answer is of course you would.
Yep, and I think that's enough for me. Now it bows the Shigen, but you've got the Phoenix Duty Strains. I mean, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And Market Levin's favorite stuff, like I mean, we talked ourselves into the other Air Honor gain spell, and that costs 3 gold, and this just doesn't, right? It's 0, comes back.
True. It's very true.
It's the same sort
of
thing.
Like all of these, yeah, it's very true.
And this is actually slightly easier because you don't need any straighten effects for the spell, right? It's like I gain my honor, I blow it up, I attach it to a different unbowed guy.
Well, it attaches bowed, right? So you have to have like you have to have a Hachiman, but twist my thumbs, make me play Hachiman in the Shugenja deck. Like, geez, Brian Reese, really.
So another one of those cards, and it's got the honor keyword, so it's a free point of honor.
Yeah.
If you want it to be in that way, where you can just sort of.
You get 2 off of it in one turn. Like you like have one in play, like you blow it, you ditch the other one to it, you gain 2, and then you reattach both.
So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's a fun honor game card. No fuss, no muss.
No muss.
World Essence. This is the one. We saw this card, right? I'm almost certain that is this a reprint? Have we gotten to the point where we're just printing expansions?
It's not a reprint, but there was a fake card in the last before that gave 2 guys expendable or something.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen something. Maybe it wasn't this straightforward. Maybe it wasn't just open, give a guy expendable. Maybe it was battle, or maybe that a gold cost or whatever.
That's a pretty bad ritual. I'm gonna go to the Shugenja, oh please make me expendable.
Yeah, I don't. Even us, even we who love these sorts of effects, I have a hard time with it. But I am gonna play it, and you know how I'm gonna play it, right?
Oh, you ready for mine? You do yours first.
The ritual spell that blows up our hero.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm gonna play it in my Oni deck. I'm gonna get the guy, gain my 1 honor, give it expendable.
The guy who has the ritual open spell that blows people up will also be the guy who makes people expendable.
Who knew?
And so we'll make
what a dick. What a dick. The lanterns flickered. You will have all you need to complete your final task. He then cut out his guts and summoned an Oni.
It's pretty straightforward.
The story that is told by our decks is slightly sadistic. And I don't know if it fits in a family game.
That's what we do. I mean, that's what we're doing.
This is how we do it. Let's talk about Thunder's Resplendent Gift.
As I said, we are who we are,
I like this card. Well, I don't like this card. You know why I was going to say I like this card because I read it as range attack 2, then if he's Shugenja, range attack 2. I was going to talk about how
we thought that card was going to see a bunch more play, and it didn't. And this is that card that you can go on Thunder Shugenja, and you don't need to play sneak attack.
Yeah.
They can't be 5. They can be increased.
I still like this card well enough because it's still sort of doing two things, so that's fine, but no one's going to play it because no one played the other one, even though I think they're wrong on that.
I mean, it's two abilities, but like we keep talking about how fear is a non-ability. Like,
yeah, not enough. It's not.
it's a one goal spell. Like, why is this better than a spell that just makes a range 3?
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
And like that's always the problem. Like, range 3 is really the cutoff point. They've designed around this cutoff point of serious military personalities have 3 force, like serious military followers have 3 force. So like a 2 force thing means you've got to be playing like an archery range. You've got to be playing like your shoot increase package.
Yeah, those cards just tend not to line up properly against everything else, right? Like
Right.
a range 2 and a fear 2. It's very uncommon you'll find yourself in a situation where you can like shoot a 2 force thing and have a fear 2 thing and have also work, and you have to pay gold and have Thunder Shigeru. There's a cost to play this card, and the effect's just not very good.
It's always like in one of the things when you're like evaluating these cards is like there's always an opportunity cost of playing cards. Like cards cost 1 card slot. You know, you get 40, and no, that's all you get. Stop, everybody. You get 40, and like once you build your big pile, and a lot of times I work like sort of the like sculptor, like start with a huge pile of like every card I want to play, and it's like 60 cards, and then you sort of start chipping away of like, well, this card's better than this card, like this card's situational, like this is the kind of card that you read and you like, and you put it into your like 60 blob, and as you chip down, it just goes because it doesn't. It seems cool. It does 2 things, but it's exactly the same problem as the card we saw last time has, where you make 2 range 2s, but range 2s suck. So like, what value does that have?
Yeah.
Wrath of Sutengu. You know, Sutengu used to be my homeboy. Like Sutengu and me, we were like this. Like
The Surge? Are you a Surge?
that was Sutengu's very first card. He made this big splash coming out with like this uncomprehensible ban bait card that enabled all kinds of control combos, and it's just been all downhill from there.
You missed the Water Shugenja one. So there was one that got banned or errated in some way. And it was a water. That's what this is. I think it was Sutengu's Wrath, I think is what it was called. And this is sort of a reference, I think, to the title.
Mm-hmm.
Sutengu's Wrath. It was the Wrath. But it was a movement effect that got banned. Or got errated because it was too good of a move. It allowed you to sort of take opposed provinces. It moved in. It just did all this other stuff.
Yeah, this card will never see play.
And this, it's not as good now because they changed the way you can mention home keywords. And this is a sort of watered down, crappier version of that.
Honestly, I was surprised that some sort of like slide offense like deck never came together. No, like buy a guy, like make him a force attack, substrat, overtake your province, like that.
So does this? You're saying this card will never see play, and I'm wanting to quibble with you because it can take unopposed provinces. It's like I throw myself at a province that forces their defense. I don't know.
But like, so why isn't subset stream played? Like, not even in experimental decks. We haven't even brewed with it.
You mean attack?
No, I mean
Superior
substrat.
Superior Strategist is the death of the winds card. We play it all the time. You mean
Superior
Tactics?
Yeah, Superior Tactics. Yeah, I mean Superior Tactics. Yeah.
Okay, so because it's not absent, so you can't do it at an unresolved battle.
This isn't absent either.
You're right.
Like I have to attack, and then you do something, and then I move away.
They do something. Yeah, you're right. So it's unplayable.
I guess like the upside on this is that I can put it on a naval guy, and then like I naval move over.
The name of the spell. Yeah, it's.
Like it's better than it's definitely better than subtac.
There's action cards that do this exact thing that no one's ever played. Yeah, it's just nothing.
I guess like no, okay. You kind of like walked me there a little bit because this, the naval interaction. Like the reason those cards all suck is because they changed the way that absent stuff works. So like you can't resolve this battle over here, subtac in, right? But like if you can put this on a naval guy, then I can go like attack with my naval guy, naval, cast wrath, move over here.
Defense, yeah. So you can go Harpoony defense, I guess the defensive use of this. So
right.
Again, it's like I put 10 defenders at Province 1, 1 defender against Province 2. At Province 2, I send your guys over.
Yeah, troll you a little bit. Or here's what you do. So I'm playing Fortifications. Now don't lose me yet. And you attack and I defend with Wrath of Sutengu.
Don't lose me yet. The response to that is no. So we've done the thing we do when we try to like abuse spells because we are. I think this one is beyond us. I don't think
it's not. Yeah, I mean, so I don't think this one makes a cut. I do think there are some very cool spells though. Specifically, anything that says Mahu repeatable.
Other deck
open.
stuff. We got Oni stuff. We got all kinds going on.
Yeah, there's some cool honor stuff like spells. You know, there's some spells in the hall and like I said, we misevaluate. I misevaluate them. I'm not gonna speak for Paul.
No. I mean, you get me excited about all these decks that no one ever plays but us. But whatever, we don't need anybody else. We have ourselves. I can play with myself. It doesn't. Phrasing. I object.
Okay. Anyway, that was the last of the attachments. If you were following along with us, you might just be jumping around from wherever you want. In which case, hey, man, it's a free country. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
If you have any comments, let us know. Otherwise, this has been Enough Talk. I'm Jesse. That's Paul. See you next time.